Sonic the Hedgehog and amnesia go hand in hand, I swear. Wait, wrong amnesia. Good day all, RobotnikHolmes here. Guess what, we're still on the IDW Sonic train, and while I still prefer Archie Sonic for its vastly unique world building and characters, not to mention the adventurous vibe it had, it's time for us to continue our journey on the new book. We're gonna hike this damn mountain whether you like it or not, so says Holmes. A quick spoilers for the ending of Sonic Forces, otherwise I'd suggest skipping to the next timestamp. In the previous 4 issues of the IDW comic, it acted as an introduction to the setting and, in particular, showed off what Dr. Eggman is up to. It works very well as a mystery. Considering Sonic Forces literally had the dude vanish out of thin air after the final boss fight. I'm serious, he fought Sonic & Co. in this giant mech for the final showdown, erroneously referred to as a Death Egg robot. Seriously, just call it the Egg Infinite or something. Then it transformed into a multi-headed Hydra bot, and the dude went all silent, no voice lines or anything. In the ending cutscene, we are just left to guess that he went down with his ship, as it were, and the good guys treat it like the war is finally over, but it still left like a million questions. The IDW team must have been scratching their heads, trying to logically bring back the series' big bad, and write themselves out of this damn corner. Good on them though, because here we get a loose idea of how Dr. Eggman was summoned back from the brink of the abyss, even if you can just chalk it up to the Phantom Ruby's magic just plopping him back into reality. Dr. Eggman is back, and now he, Sonic, and a suddenly appearing Shadow can find their answers, if they don't kill each other in the process. Sound like a good hook for a story? As simplistic as it is, I'm rather looking forward to that, even if I have my gripes with the anti-villain's current characterization, but that can definitely wait. Oh hey, Hexbot, you doing okay back there, buddy?
Alas, who am I? 'Twould seem that fate has granted me a reprieve. Here I sit, laying on the shelf of some dweeb's bedroom, but who is he? What is anything? My sights betray me, and I am left to ponder the meaning of my artificial existence forevermore.
Well, that was random. Anyway, for this video, it's not just the Eggman arc that I'll be reviewing. Issues 7 and 8 are totally standalone, but I'll be giving them some appreciation too, and looking forward to the new developments and characters as we go along. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. In this video, we are looking at issues 5 to 8 of Sonic the Hedgehog by IDW Publishing. The covers don't lie. Dr. Eggman has indeed returned, and as is tradition at this point, there's a pair of variant covers that deserve special mention. Kieran Gates' one gets the message across just fine, and Pepper's one is alright, but Fordrain's cover takes the cake, even if it's visually inaccurate to what goes on in the cover story. Issue 5, The Fate of Dr. Eggman, Part 1, starts out with Sonic and Espio of the Chaotix destroying some badniks on some twisty roads. Hey, there's little flickies inside these robots. So does that mean with Blaze's fire attacks? I'm sure they're fine. Espio explains that he personally doesn't think Eggman's behind the new badnik attacks, because he and his team had been making investigations in his old bases and found nothing. Not even Orbot and Cubot had anything for them. Adding to the mystery, the chameleon dude states that the Chaotix had received an anonymous tip, which is why they are travelling to this mountainous village, and he kinda lets on that they know Eggman is there, for better or worse. Once they arrive at Windmill Village, the place appears to be super chill and nice, and Charmy Bee and some kids introduce Sonic to their newest resident, the kindly and human-looking Dr. Eggman. Oh boy, we've got an amnesia plot on our hands. Let's see how long this sticks. Going by the name of Mr. Tinker, this friendly chap is initially mistaken as yet another one of the Doctor's villainous ruses, like this has got to be a joke, right? But no, legit, the Doctor has no memory of his past self or even being a villain. He's just a humble guy who likes fixing things now and entertaining the children of the town. The Chaotix leader, Vector, is at a total loss on what to do. They can't just arrest him for something he has no memory of doing, and he seems to enjoy his current lifestyle. And Sonic, the perpetual hero, cannot help but think that they are putting the world in danger by not stopping a guy who has been known to threaten it time and time again. The town's leader comes in, his name being Elder Scruffy. Scruffy? And he clarifies that the villain just arrived one day and is a completely changed man. This is the kind of guy that breaks out of his own cell just to reinforce the locks and make it more convenient for them. And he's so nice to kids too, even during times of crisis. So is he really all that bad? To protect the villagers, Sonic and the Chaotix have a quick skirmish with some badniks, and Charmy Bee spots the sinister egg flapper that we saw in the last few issues and destroys it, cutting off visuals for the mysterious not Eggman leading them. Sucks to be you, elusive villain, you got outwitted by a literal child. At the end of the day, Sonic makes his peace with the seemingly reformed Mr. Tinker, along with the Chaotix deciding to stay behind for the moment to watch over him, and the issue appears to be finishing off with the classic everyone laughs ending. But then Mr. Tinker mentions Eggman Land, a dystopia the real Eggman always strives to achieve, and then the sudden appearance of Shadow the Hedgehog and Rouge the Bat further complicates things. Good grief, 5 issues in and we're already reaching our first Sonic and Shadow confrontation. Let's hope it's good. Leave it to John Gray to give the main cover such dynamic flourishes. Along with Herm's vibrant colouring, it really makes for a dramatic first impression of the Battle of Two Hedgehogs. Yardley and Fordrain's variant covers are rather nice too. Yardley's one gives me Sonic Adventure 2 vibes with all the wavy Tron lines. Really didn't expect a story with Sonic defending an ambiguously good guy from Shadow. It's like that episode from Season 3 of Sonic X, but this time the human isn't an annoying little prick. Sorry, Chris fans. All one of you. Shadow's not one to care about amnesia, ironically so, and a conflict soon erupts as the two zip around at high speeds. Same, Mr. Tinker, same. The Chaotix being left in the dust, literally, they are shortly approached by Rouge, and slowly but surely they realise that the mysterious anonymous tip they got actually came from her. Oh, that sneaky bat. Sonic and Shadow have a nicely drawn scuffle in the nearby forest, bouncing off of trees and tripping over roots and stuff. All the while the former tries to tell the latter of some of the good things that Eggman has done to justify Shadow not killing him, although it makes for a very short list. Eventually, Sonic reminds Shadow that, like Mr. Tinker, he too once had amnesia, and that he could also be held accountable for his actions in trying to destroy the world, and twice if you count Black Doom by association. And that's the thing that finally gets Shadow to back down. Like, he doesn't want any part in that conversation. Sonic brings up that Mr. Tinker wants to create Eggman Land, however, and that immediately snaps Shadow back into anti-hero mode, and he teleports right back to Windmill Village. Nothing gets in his way, not the Chaotix, nor a questioning Rouge, though she doesn't give much of a resistance. You want to see the Eggman Land the good guy has been cooking up? Well, here it is! A totally harmless playground that just so happens to be made from scrapped badnik parts. I bet Shadow feels pretty dumb now. The issue ends with Shadow walking off, Rouge letting the Chaotix keep their finder's fee, and Sonic officially making peace with Mr. Tinker, even if he ought to keep his returning memories in check. The last page shows that the figure behind the chair that has been ominously teased for so long is, still Eggman, which is definitely fishy, but I'm positive that the next issue will clear that up. Time to give us the answers we seek, comic. Issue number 7's cover gets the point across fine. Sonic's going to be boarding the Egg Fleet from Sonic Heroes, probably one of my favourite Eggman bases. But Gates is far from the only cover artist. Bryce Thomas and Four Drains ones are once again my faves. They are really dynamic and add more of a sinister presence to the threat of Dr. Eggman. The other covers are passable, and some are strictly for reprints, including a slightly edited one that hints at the identity of the true villain. Look at that robo-eye. Its story, Meet the New Boss, begins with the Egg Fleet taking flight in the skies, and the duo of Sonic and Tails flying nearby in the tornado. This is a simple infiltration mission, however, so the only one going into the fray is Sonic, wielding Tails' little iPad to steal information of the true villain's location. Only the blue blur would dare to skydive with his back to the ground. The mission is shortly stopped by a snag as Sonic bumps into Dr. Eggman himself and a crowd of egg pawns. However, despite the villain's megalomania, Sonic's seen the real Eggman back in Windmill Forest, so the dude's not fooling anyone. And who is this dude exactly? One admittedly cool and subtle transformation later, the villain is revealed to be none other than Neo Metal Sonic, Sonic's mechanical double who is once again upgraded and impersonating his master. Sonic recalls the past events of Sonic Heroes and how he fought a phantom of him in Sonic Forces, and Neo explains that he was repaired, stripped of free will so that he would never betray Eggman again, and that he possesses his boss's biodata. This allowed him to take over the Empire after the war was over, and now he strives to not only conquer the world as Eggman, but also bring the dude back so that he can rightfully take his place. Him and Sonic's conversation quickly gets heated, and a quick-footed fight shortly occurs, with Sonic being so fast he's almost a blur. But he makes the mistake of forgetting Neo Metal Sonic is a data copycat. He can just copy whatever he's doing and outbeat his quickness. Our hero attempts to escape, running down the battleship while Neo gives chase and yells at him to be captured. After a short badnik battle, the metal doppelganger eventually grabs Sonic by the throat, and he has him right in his clutches. But the Hedgehog tricks him by pretending to fall to his death, only for Tails to swoop in and save him at the last second. Bet you wish you had a metal Tails doll now. The heroes get away because the hammy Metal Sonic doesn't have any forces left to order around. I'm embarrassed for him. But the villain monologues that the heroes know not of his plans, and that he has the knowledge his missing boss is out there somewhere. Later on at Resistance HQ, the issue ends following Sonic telling the others of his experiences, and with no new information to go by, all seems hopeless. But that's not gonna squash the Hedgehog's endless enthusiasm. The good guys decide to investigate old bases of Eggman and see if they can find any more intel on Neo Metal Sonic's plans. It's not much, but it's something, I guess. Go optimism. However, Neo is currently going forward with his super evil plots, and we see he's already heading for Angel Island, where the Master Emerald is seen glistening in the distance. This can only mean bad things to come. Ooh, this is the issue that introduces Whisper the Wolf. The first two covers, featuring a foreboding shot-reverse shot of the heroes, were drawn by Evan Stanley, who is no stranger to drawing Silva, let me tell you. Four Drains cover is, as usual, very visually appealing. I love the sand turning into snowy looking water. Issue 8's story, Silent Support, starts with our speedy Schuster silently slipping under doors during a dashing raid on Eggman's Illuminati base. And he goes right past the new character, but that may be because he's too busy quoting his taunts from Smash Brothers. Come on, guys. The blue blur is shown to be assisted a couple of times from the shadows, one time being to help him get through a door in time. While Sonic deals with a giant spinner badnik, Silva the Hedgehog makes his sudden appearance with his cool telekinesis powers easily trouncing the bot. Future Boy here supposedly time travelled to the present because his time period is currently dystopian and eerily void of any life, so he thinks he can restore it if he helps the heroes again. He also brings up the fabled guardian angel of the battlefield, who helped them a lot during the Eggman War, though they always stayed out of view. Quick note, but I like that this comic keeps elaborating on what happened during the worldwide conflict in Sonic Forces. It's slowly painting a picture of what the Resistance had to go through. Shortly after, Silva and Sonic go around a corner and find the unseen figure, who appears to be trying to break a door using cool weapons that seems to harness different coloured ammo and powers. Meet Whisper the Wolf, an extremely introverted peep who uses wisps to fight, and is probably the most mysterious hero in the cast. She's also got an awesome design and I love her to bits. Wait till the review section where I talk about her at length. It takes a bit of time, but eventually Sonic and Silva gain her trust, and they get along well with the Wisps, because they're familiar with Sonic. They continue their foray into the Pyramid Base, and what's waiting on them on the other side of the door? None other than a bunch of enemies, led by a Horde Commander bot. Following a quick action scene where the good guys destroy a bunch of badniks, in particular Silva fricking throwing Sonic at them using his telekinesis. Oh crap, it's that infamous move's true purpose. Through teamwork and looking out for each other in the heat of battle, the three are eventually able to scrap the lead badnik, and Silva is shown to be accepting of Whisper's lone wolf tendencies, though his offer at working together still stands. The shy sniper is shown to dislike the Eggman Empire symbol, almost venomously, as if it triggers PTSD, but Sonic talks her out of destroying the computer because they need to snoop for clues on the Eggnet. And oh crap indeed! Language, Silva. Sonic and Silva read it, Knuckles senses it, Neo Metal Sonic has made the Master Emerald his throne. Boss freaking move though. And he is currently holding Angel Island hostage, and the issue ends with an overview of the Egg Fleet commandeering the thing. The Master Emerald has the ability to cancel out the Chaos Emeralds, so no superform can save them this time. Damn, that really raises the stakes. Still weird that Knuckles just left the island behind to command the resistance. Sega writes you to be stupid again, eh, Nux?
Shut up!
With that, it seems like we're finally done doing the introductory issues. All the key players are ready for the coming arc, and all the stories introducing them were pretty excellent. Or at least most of them. Alright, let me start with the good first. Issues 7 and 8 both had the narrative template of Sonic entering an old Eggman base with the help of a friend, and meeting a newly introduced character, but both of them were probably my favourite of the bunch. I enjoyed Sonic's interactions with Silva and Whispa, and especially the latter's dorkiness. He's come a long way from being the single-minded hothead he was in 06. Now his naivete has been increased, but he's got the right spirit. Silva's a good boy, okay? Neo Metal Sonic's return was nicely foreshadowed, though keen-eyed fans would definitely pick up on his powers of disguising as Eggman and using his egg fleet. And some of the badniks he commanded in previous issues were also specifically from Sonic Heroes. In my first reading, I didn't pick up on those hints, but it makes so much sense now looking back. Neo's always been super corny, basically being a spiky and Metal Sonic with a black cape and a bigger ego, but his over-the-top monologues were handled rather well. He's so overly evil and a real comic book villain when you get down to it, but he's got the threatening aura to pull it off. It helps that we saw how deadly he was. On the opposite end, new good guy Whisper the Wolf made her first appearance in the very next issue, and I'll always love her character. A shy sniper from the shadows who even speaks in a hushed voice. She makes an amazing inclusion to the cast. She's like the polar opposite of Tangle, and really stands out against the more boisterous Silva and such. I adore her design so much, major props to Stanley, and how she almost always has her eyes closed, except when she really means business. Even her whisper gun is creative, though I do wonder if the announcer voice still plays when she changes ammo. Like, how does that work?
Q! Spikes! Burn!
I also enjoyed the concept of Mr. Tinker, Eggman's amnesic identity. It's the literal opposite of the big bad's usual self, and the comic brought up a lot of subjects that sparked discussion, questioning whether it was best if he was held accountable for his actions, or just let him be in his now harmless state. Plus, I kinda like how it referenced the Robotnik in Pajamas concept art. It's a weird but appropriate inspiration, I must say. But from the good, I must now bring up the things that irked me. And I'm terribly sorry, but it's time for me to diss Shadow and how Sega currently restricts his characterization. So according to Ian Flynn, one of the main writers of the comic, and several other accounts, Sega's stance on Shadow is that he is currently a rival figure, and only a rival, past characterization and backstory be damned. To this day, I don't understand why they restrict Shadow to be a basic Vegeta parallel, because there's much, much more to his character other than evil, itchy, brooding guy. Both the games and his appearance in Archie Sonic made full use of that. I loved how in there, he had moments when he actually smiled, and showed an appreciation for his fellow teammates. But since the higher-ups at Sega state that Team Dark are no longer friends, quote-unquote, in IDW Sonic, they appear more like co-workers who are just vaguely familiar with each other. It's hard for me to dig the characters when I know there could be more, you know? Maybe they just wanted them to contrast with how buddy-buddy Sonic is with his friends? But you can do that without sacrificing their close bond that they've had over the years. The Archie Sonic books handled that better. I cannot think of a bigger downgrade when we're comparing the anti-villain's characterization between comic books. Team Dark and IDW Sonic just aren't the same without the camaraderie we're used to seeing. Sorry for the rants there, but I just had to get that off my chest. I'm well aware that Shadow's dark and competitive tendencies incurred the wrath of fans, me included, but it should be noted that the writers aren't to blame. They also don't like the mandated character aggression. It's entirely out of their hands, and honestly I sympathise with Flynn and Stanley, who can't so much as visually show acts of kindness involving the dude. More on the topic of these two issues in particular, Shadow's characterization did bog down the story for me. It's a bit infuriating, especially since he was the main cause of conflict in issue 6 after we, the readers, had already understood Eggman's current harmlessness, even if he did bring up the name of his utopia to unintentionally throw the heroes off. Am I too impatient? Probably, but the story just kept going and I wanted it to be over. At least the Chaotix were there to help soften the blow, even if they didn't get to do much either. Finishing up now. On the subject of visuals, they were marvellous across the board. Yardley's pencils in issues 5 and 6 were decent as always, along with Herm's colours. Sometimes peeps in the background appeared a tad off-model, mostly those in the flashback pages. Sonic and the cast looks downright chibi in this one panel, but I'm sure it's just a stylistic choice. Adam Bryce Thomas did the art for issue 7, and I rather enjoyed all the fight scenes of Sonic vs Eggpawns, and especially the confrontation between the Blue Blur and Neo Metal Sonic. It's the first time we've seen that guy in a straight-up battle, and it was invigorating seeing him do all these speedy attacks and moves. Plus, his transformation was visually awesome. I loved all the little hexagons that represented his shifting appearance, and the slight red tint in Eggman's glasses. It's like a 1-second foreshadowing. Issue 8 looked rather great too. Obviously, Stanley's art is always a plus. A majority of it took place within a grungy looking Eggman base, but I loved the action and cute moments shared between characters, and especially the use of Benday dots in the aesthetic. See, Sonic Forces, this is how you do it. That's about it for my review on these issues, but let's finish up with a quick nerd moment. The big boss that the trio fight at the end was an E100 series badnik, E107 Theta to be specific, and that strangely coincides with an E100 robot from the previous comic, E106 Eta. This one visually shares a colour scheme somewhat, and its original name was even going to be Theta, but it was changed late in production because it had been name-dropped in a previous pre-reboot story, so due to potential legal reasons they couldn't designate Eta as Theta. I suppose the heroes confronting a badnik given that exact name was kind of a homage or in-joke at the one they couldn't use before. Or maybe I'm just looking too much into a minor character who only appears in one issue, who knows. I really need to prioritise my nerd ramblings to its own section or something. I used to have an extra bits title in one of my older videos. Oh well, I promise next time my monologues will be more organised. Anywho, time to rate these 4 issues. Part 1 of The Fate of Dr. Eggman was a pretty good read. Good illustrations and character moments all around, as well as some fun jokes courtesy of the Chaotix. Mr. Tinker was pretty interesting, and it led to some pondering over what this means for the future of Eggman, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. For the better half, I can say with certainty number 5 gets a decent 7 out of 10. Issue number 6 was the least interesting of the bunch, giving us cool fight scenes but not a very good reason for its existence. The story progressed much slower because of that, and it wasn't as character driven as the previous issue. Because of these reasons, as much as it pains me, I'll have to give the second part of The Fate of Dr. Eggman a 5 out of 10, just below a rating of 6. The Neo Metal Sonic issue, by contrast, was really exciting to read. Not only was the art heart-pumpingly intense, but so was the battle between the hero and villain. What a good use of fan service. Its awesomeness cannot be denied, and it proves to be a cool climactic moment in the IDW Sonic comics as a whole. You know what, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's great. The Whisper introduction was a decent balance of nicely drawn battles and slow and methodical moments. Whisper's cool as hell, and while we don't yet know much about her intentions or why she dislikes Eggman so much, her sticking around as a good guy is very promising. Plus, I loved Silva in this issue, both how he was written and how amazing he was depicted with his green glowy powers. All this coming together, I think it well and truly deserves a score of 7 out of 10. So, the finale of this early arc is taking place on Angel Island. What's going to happen on there? Will Tangle and Whisper prove to be capable team members? Will Shadow the Hedgehog continue to be written two-dimensionally? Well, I know the answers to all of those. These issues did come out 4 years ago. In the next video, I'll be reviewing the Battle for Angel Island issues. It's again separated into 4 parts, which is super fricking handy. So stay tuned for my video recapping the end of this comic's first proper arc. Thank you ever so much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I'll see you in the next video.